Good morning and welcome to the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast. I'm Esther,
And I'm Melanie.
and today we're joined by Ellie Clogher from My Virtual Associate. Good morning, Ellie.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. And we're talking about how a VA can help you market your business. So, Ellie, what is a VA for people who might not know what those letters stand for?
A VA is a virtual assistant, and essentially, what a virtual assistant is a self employed individual who assists you by providing services virtually from their home.
Perfect. So they don't have to go into the office. You don't have to go physically and meet other people. You don't have to leave the home office that you have created.
No, you can stay at home and help your clients from there. All you really need is a laptop and Wi Fi. That's it.
Very important elements.
So I finally get a chance to speak now. Thanks, ladies. So the reason why we brought you on is I've seen you regularly post and publish on channels that we're both involved in, Ellie. And I just wanted to ask you how you help create a value add for businesses with your business. What is the key takeaways that people can get from using a VA?
The key thing is time saving.
Mm.
Small business owners are juggling so many different things at any one time, and it can be really hard to find the time to actually focus on the bigger picture stuff,
Mm.
or even to actually spend time with your family. And there's just that much going on in the background. So working with a virtual assistant helps you to free up that time, and it actually helps you to get more work done in less time. If you many hands make light work, as they say, you know. Um, so it definitely is a big time save for small business owners.
And does a VA do everything that the business owner doesn't like to do or want to do or have time to do?
That's a funny question because a lot of us do, but there are many different kinds of virtual assistants who specialize in different areas. So you do have some that would be more administrative focused, helping you on all those bits and pieces, those horrible niggly jobs that take ages. Those ones in the background. You have virtual assistants who help you with creative work, social media, and then there are others who would provide kind of financial services such as invoicing and bookkeeping and helping you keep track of those things.
That would be a VA as well.
Yeah, there are VAs that do that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what would you do? I know, as you say, they're all different, but what area do you focus in?
I would probably really be classed as a general virtual assistant. I have lots of secretarial and PA experience and office experience. So I've used that to provide services for my clients. And really what I am, it's hard to explain, but the way I explain it is I'm kind of like the right-hand woman in the background that just helps them with all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, making sure it's running smoothly and gets done on time. So that can be from admin to assisting them with their webinars and workshops that they may host, um, helping them with their clients and client queries, making sure that they're gotten back to on time, because sometimes you might not actually be able to do that in the time frame you really want to be able to. It really does vary, but lots of the background stuff.
So how does this work with the different types of personalities you've got out there? You've got
Are you saying Ellie's got multiple personalities?
no, not
I'm like,
her.
hold on.
The people she's working with.
Oh,
Loon.
right.
So there are some people out there that are going to be trying to micromanage everything, and other people who just leave you to it. How do you manage that?
Well, you're right. Every client is different, and they all have a different vision for their business and how you are going to help them in it.
Hmm.
And in the beginning, it really is about getting to know them. But as a self-employed person, all pretty much all virtual assistants are self-employed. It is kind of part of our job to lay down that little boundary in the beginning so that they do know, look, I mean, I am going to do a great job for you, but I am self-employed. I do have other clients. And luckily I've not had an issue with that. But it does vary in communication. For example, I have a client that I would speak to twice a week over Zoom, and that works perfectly. I'm very happy to do that. We work together every day, so it makes sense for us to communicate that often. I would have other clients where it might just be an email here or there, but it usually is less work, so it does work for us. And it really just depends on what way the client wants to do it and then how we work it into the schedule.
So, you're talking about like some people you work with them every day and others it's just a few hours. Is there a minimum that people would have to sort of hire you for? Or is there a maximum? You know, if somebody comes in and says, I need 40 hours a week.
I know. Well, then I mean, at that point, it might be like you might need an employee. I want to look at that, but no, there's not usually a minimum. You can work with virtual assistants in many different ways. Like, I mean, you can have that ongoing working relationship, like I have with a couple of my clients, where we do work together every day, and you do really get to know each other. But I do also have other clients who may need an hour a month for a particular task that needs to be done once a month. Or I do have another client who approaches me when she's busy, and there could be months in between that. But she
Okay.
might have a deadline, she might have something she needs help with right now, and I would have a chat, see when we can do it, and book in for it. So there isn't a minimum. No, you can work even if it's an hour on like one project.
Hmm. And you were saying, you know, like our topic is how a virtual assistant can help you market your business.
Yeah.
So you were talking there about helping them with running their online events or their, you know, probably in-person events when when the time comes.
When it
Um,
happens.
so what aspects would a VA or could be passed down to a VA?
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
one of the things really is that it's an online presence for businesses is bigger than ever right now, and it's so much more important than it ever was before to have that online presence. But it takes a lot of time, like content creation, even coming up with your ideas, knowing when to schedule, looking at your insights. It takes a lot of time to do that. And virtual assistants can help business owners with that, um, by helping them actually post the content. Or even there are virtual assistants who will log into your accounts and engage on your behalf. Instead of you needing to try and take that time, even though you might want to do it, it's just that you mightn't have the time to do it, to log in and engage with everybody that's there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
oh sorry, Melanie.
I was just going to say, when it comes down to um, bringing back information to the business owner, how do you do that? Is there some sort of weekly or monthly reporting you do?
Well, it does depend on who you're working with,
Yeah.
but many of us use project management tools. So there are lots of different kinds out there. Personally, I use Asana, and I would actually be linked with them on that. So they're actually getting updates fairly regularly from me. If I've finished it, I will pop
Nice.
in, you know, this happened today, this is what it looked like. And once they go into Asana, the updates are there for them.
So do
Um,
they have to have an account, or do you help them set up an account?
What happens is I have an account,
Okay.
and if my client is interested in using it in our working relationship together, I will then set up a separate workspace for us in my
Okay, cool.
account. So they don't need to do anything, but I will then send them a little training video to show how to use it, because they are actually really effective at keeping everything in the one place instead of having emails flying
Mm.
everywhere. You
Now,
know?
what would you say to someone who is maybe a little reluctant about handing over the reins? Let's go back to talking social media here. Handing over the reins and the details to their accounts and their, you know, information, their logins. I know you can
Yeah.
add people in the back end, but some people don't know how to do that. And you know, to get like it's happened to us, and I'm sure it's happened to Melanie as well in her business, that when people come to us and say, "Oh, I need you to run my social media. Here's my login." And I'm going, no, I need you to invite me. Please don't give me your password.
Yeah,
What way do you get them through their fears and phobias of,
yeah.
you know, you being, or, you know, you or Melanie or I or anybody out there who would be a virtual assistant or a social media manager how do you get them over their fears of handing over that? And as Melanie was saying earlier, not be micromanaging
Yeah,
everything.
it is. Look, it is a fear that a lot of people have, and it's really understandable. But as virtual assistants, we are professional and it is part of our job to be up with the latest technologies. And to be honest with you, most of us don't want the password because if anything was to go awry or anything like that, you don't want to have it. So that's why we use password management softwares such as LastPass, where the client can actually enter in the login details for example, Facebook, and they can then share that login with you without you actually knowing what it is. You don't know what it is, but you're able to log into the account through LastPass, and they can revoke your access at any time. So it's just a bit of security for everybody that way.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
we use
excellent.
LastPass as well.
Yeah, that's
Um,
excellent.
yeah, and you're saying that you can log in, you can do their social media for them. As a company ourselves who run other people's social media, I always
Yeah.
find it easier to run theirs than run our own. So there
Yeah.
are times that even as a social media agency, and Melanie, I'm sure finds the same, you just don't. It's harder being right there in your business,
Mm.
trying to find the words to use to promote your business and to tell other people about it. So it would be a good idea for any business to get a VA or a social media
Well,
manager.
it's a
Now there
fresh
are
pair of eyes, isn't it?
it
It's a
is.
fresh
It is.
perspective, a fresh view. And it's so difficult, especially as all of us here, well, apart from you, Esther, keep them showing off. We're sole traders here. And it's very
I'm still
difficult.
classed as a sole
No,
trader.
you're not.
I have freelancers
Anyway.
and one staff. Yeah. I'm I'm still a sole trader.
But, it's so difficult to speak about your own self, your own business subjectively.
Definitely.
It's
And
it's so difficult.
it can feel, I don't know, I mean, even for myself, if I'm posting for myself, sometimes I flinch at the things I post because you're too close to it.
Mhm.
And then you're just like, okay, it's posted. Ellie, put the phone away and don't look at it till later because you'll only delete it. Whereas, like with some clients I'm working with, I was doing a bit of a revamp on social medias for one client recently on their accounts, and I created some new cover photos, and I found a fantastic photo of them that they should
Mm.
really be using, but they weren't using. And it's just one of those things where you looking at it yourself, you're going to think, oh, I really don't know if I should. But once I put it together for her, she was like, that actually looks great. Like,
Yeah.
let's use
Yeah.
it. And when it's coming from somebody else, it does feel a bit different,
Mm.
you know?
Definitely. Definitely. I would fully agree with that. And I would just, putting in my 2 cents here, if anyone is thinking about hiring a VA or, unsure about that, there's, like you said, there's not all VAs are created equal. Some VAs are more equal than others. If anybody gets that, no,
No.
it's coming from Animal Farm, but
Oh,
read the book. Read the book. It's really good.
okay.
Um, so I would just really like to encourage everybody, all the listeners, to reach out to Ellie or to ourselves and find that click. You need somebody to click with that can do the work for you, because not everybody will know about the business that you're running. Not everybody will be able to help you with the business that you're running. I'm sure, Ellie, there are times that you would like to stay away from certain industries, or, everybody has their pros and their cons for each industry out there,
Oh,
you
well,
know.
for sure. Like, that's completely true. And actually, one of the best things about Ireland is obviously we're so small, pretty much all us VAs know each other. So when it comes to, say, for example, I got an inquiry, but it wasn't services that I provided, I might go, I know who'd be good for that, you know, and you might pass on a name. But recently, Ireland's first dedicated virtual assistant directory was launched. It was a collaboration between myself and Catherine Tobin of Click Create. And on it at the moment, we have over 40 virtual assistants, all Irish based, that business owners can browse and actually find the kind of virtual assistant they're looking for.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And
Mhm.
I would say, go for interviews with people, and it works both ways because it's not hiring system. It's not a
No,
being an employee. You are a sole trader, you are self-employed, you have your other clients, and that's something that you have to, the
Do I
business that's hiring you has to understand too.
but saying that, I can actually see using a virtual assistant as a way of bridging yourself to getting ready to employ someone.
Definitely.
yeah,
Because you may not have enough work initially, but as you're building up,
Hmm.
it's very difficult to employ somebody with a full-time pay if you haven't got the full-time work coming in. So this might be a really good way to help grow your business as well.
Yeah.
So that when it's hard luck to the poor VA who's then going to be, but then they've got another person who will come along and engage them X amount of hours each time. That's the great thing
exactly.
about being freelance.
Exactly. And actually, what a lot of people are doing as well is, instead of, like, of course, it's a great way to transition into hiring an employee, figuring out what you can actually give an employee to do in your
Yeah,
business. But
that's a
what
good
a lot
idea.
of business owners are doing now is actually they have freelance teams instead
Hmm.
of employees. And I'm actually part of one. One of my clients has just a team of freelancers. And even though we're all freelance, it doesn't feel that way. We do feel like a team.
Hmm. So
So it
do you have
is,
like an email address of your own for that company?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So you do still feel like you're part of the team and working together, even though we are all freelancers.
Yeah, and you still can have your other
Yeah.
projects and your other clients. That's the way we work it here at IPA Group as well.
Mm.
Um, I had another question, but it's gone out of my head. So we're gonna.
I've got one anyway. You say you use Asana for project management. Tell us a little bit more about Asana. Is it like I know it's project management, but is it time management as well? Is there a calendar in there that sort of prompts you to do stuff?
It it does. It prompts you with tasks. So in it, for example, if I was working with a particular client, we could have our different projects in it. Say one of those is social media, another could be admin. And
Mhm.
then within those projects, you add tasks. And when you add those tasks, you get to assign them to a person. So say it's assigned to me, that client wants me to do X, and then they can put a due date on it as well.
So
So
they
you
don't even need to
actually
email you or call you. It just goes straight
know,
in Asana.
yeah,
Oh my god. Okay.
yeah. And then
And you get a
within that,
notification.
I get a notification, and within that, they can actually put a description to say, "Oh, this is what this is about," and you can actually comment and talk to each other on a thread in the task, so that emails aren't going back and forth. It is really great for keeping everything in one place instead of, where did that email go from 2 weeks ago that they asked me? you
Mm.
know, it keeps everything organized.
Yeah, and they can add in their any documents or any
Yeah,
uploads and stuff as well, right? So
yeah.
yeah, there are. I just have to say, because we are not being sponsored by Asana, there are
No,
other platforms available. We have used Trello, we have used
yeah.
Infinity. There are Monday. There are
Click
loads
up.
out
There's
there.
loads.
So yeah, so find one that works for you. I think that's the main thing
Mm.
today to take away is find a VA to help with the small things so that you can continue growing your business. And whether that's for 1 hour a month, an hour a day, uh, you know, up to whatever the VA is and yourself are comfortable with, set your boundaries on both sides and have your platforms in place for doing all this work.
Just one last question. Well, actually, there's two last questions, and I sit here long enough, there'll be a third. But no, the last two questions from me, anyway, is how I know you can be organised for maybe an hour or so, but is there a formal contract that you have to organise with a VA? Is there a
Yes.
contract? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it would be a client agreement. Now, I mean, I don't know if every VA uses them. I would recommend that they do.
Mm.
And that's kind of the common advice out there. But yes, most of us would have a client agreement that we would both sign with the client before the work actually starts.
Sort of managing each other's expectations of each other.
Well, yeah, that really is what it sets out
Yeah.
within them. It's really, what times you're available. For example, that you may not work Irish holiday weekends, like certain things like that, or Christmas, and then what
You
the
don't work
hourly rate
Christmas?
is.
Ellie, what's wrong with you?
Oh God, take a few weeks off.
Weeks. My goodness. Melanie, do you get time off at Christmas?
Must. Okay, so my second question, and I'm working towards my third, but my second question is, where can we learn more about you, Ellie? Where can we get information about who you are and what you do?
You can visit my website, which is myvirtualassociate.ie, or connect on socials. I'm Ellie Clogher everywhere on all the socials, and I love connecting with new people. And it's honestly, that's another huge part of working virtually. Is it's actually really important to connect with other
Mm.
people that work virtually, because you do work by yourself, and it's nice to form those relationships with other people online.
And can anybody get in touch with you? I know you said, it's important not to work Irish holidays. So can anyone contact you from America, from the UK, Australia,
They
anywhere around the
can,
world?
yeah, anyone can get in touch, and even if they're looking for something that I might not usually provide, I can probably point them in the right direction.
Oh, because of this directory.
Exactly.
Mm. Okay, well, thank you so much, Ellie. We really appreciate you coming on. And we wanted you to explain how it could work for an everyday business, and give them an insight from your perspective on how it can work for them. Because it is kind of scary handing over the reins, isn't it?
It is.
To anybody.
It is. No, thank you very much, Ellie. And we will be back next week with more Monday Morning Marketing. See you later, guys.
Bye for now.